welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little over a month since I've done an update here, but in the last month I have gone on vacation, I have gotten my period back, I have started doing mindful intuitive eating days, and mostly stopped overeating / binging altogether. So I will be going over all of those things in this video, but first I'm gonna eat breakfast. So here I have a little turkey sausage, almost like McMuffin on a whole wheat English muffin with egg whites and Velveeta cheddar slice, and then some blueberries. So I'm gonna eat this and then we'll get started. Hello, Mia. Okay, so status update time. I'm sorry it's been so long since I last filmed a YouTube video. It's mostly because I got a brand new camera with Black Friday sales and I didn't know how to work it yet and how to get a tripod and everything. So today is the first time I'm actually filming anything with my brand new camera. So hopefully it's focusing and stuff. If you hear in the background, that is Mia. She's trying to play with me with her little Loch Ness monster. But status update time. The last time we talked, I was eating 1900 calories. Now I'm up to 1950. We are going particularly slow with this reverse because one, I'm not using the scale, so I haven't weighed myself in a couple months. Pays a little bit better to be cautious with calories. You know, I've been at 1950 now. This is my second week, and then I was at 1900 for like a good month there. And the reason for that was because that month that I was at 1900, I was traveling. There was Thanksgiving, and there were all these occasions where it would have been impossible for anyone to tell if those 1900 calories were working for me, if they were making me gain weight, etc., because I wasn't really following those macros. And yes, I am still reversing, so we are still working on building my calories back up, but it's just a lot slower this time around compared to last year. Last year I got up to 2100 pretty quickly, and 2100 was about weight gain macros for me. But this time we've gone a lot slower. There's no timeline here, and there is a saying that you should reverse for as long as you've cut for. So I was cutting for like 6 to 8 months this year, from February to August, and now I've been reversing August to December basically, so I've still got a little ways to go. My period actually came back last month, very exciting, and unsurprisingly, it came back after I went on vacation to Charleston. So I went to Charleston for 6 days, mostly because I had friends competing in a competition that weekend. I didn't film anything when I was there, but I stayed with a friend and I loosely tracked my macros throughout the day. I made sure I was eating enough protein. And then I went out to dinner every night and I worked out once, but it was mostly a very relaxing trip. And that's something that you really want for getting your period back, because all sorts of stress can make you lose your period. You don't even have to be underweight or super stage lean to lose your period. Overweight people can lose their periods too, because it's all a matter of stress on your body. So with prep, the stress on my body was dieting, working out, cardio, and then when you get super lean, you're not sleeping as well, and there's added stress on your body. 1 second, the puppy's crying. So last year I got my period back after I took 10 entire days off of tracking and working out. And so unsurprisingly, I got my period back this year after 6 days of very relaxing vacation where I went out to dinner every night and didn't worry too much about everything. So of course I gained a little bit of weight that week, but honestly it was worth it because when I did my own competition, I didn't really get to explore Charleston as much as I wanted to, and I had a whole list of restaurants I wanted to go to. So Shannon and I actually went on a walking like farmer's market food tour the day after her competition, and it was so cool. The coolest tour experience that I've ever been on. Basically, we would have gone to a farmer's market to pick out like our own vegetables and everything, but with COVID, they'd shut down the farmer's market, so we just went to like a little local produce shop. And everyone on the tour got to pick out like 2 to 3 things. And then the chefs had to make dishes to put all of those things together. So it was almost like being on Top Chef or something and you being the judges for it. And it was small dishes for everything, but it was super fun. I will post some pictures of everything. But my favorite thing was the purple sweet potato Alfredo. Never gonna get that in a restaurant anywhere. So I fully enjoyed my time in Charleston, and honestly, it was worth it because I got my period back. Of course, everyone's situation with losing their period is gonna be totally unique. I've known women who've lost their periods for years, and so again, each situation is different. If you are dealing with a loss of a period, I would highly recommend you check out No Period Now What on Instagram. She is the queen of resources for this. As far as my weight goes, I still haven't been weighing myself. I weighed myself once right after I got my period back, which was stupid because I have no idea how much weight I could have gained, like water weight wise, bloating wise, after my period. And it was after Thanksgiving too. So I haven't weighed myself since, but I would guess that I am about 25 to 30 pounds above my stage weight, which when I think of it like that number, that is a little bit scary for me. But again, this is just temporary and I am getting a lot stronger. I actually PR'd my deadlift last week. I'm gonna post a little video here. I got 315 pounds, so 3 plates on each side. I am so proud of that deadlift. I have been increasing strength across the board at the gym, especially the last few weeks, and just crushing PRs and building muscle like crazy too. So some of you guys might be thinking, well, hey, Emily, if you have put on weight, wouldn't that mean that you're in a bulk and these are like bulking calories? Well, no. So the main reason that I've put on like so much weight during a reverse is because I didn't stick to my reverse at the beginning. I had a lot more issues at the beginning of my reverse this year compared to last year, but my relationship with food has gotten so much better and I've pretty much stopped binging altogether. Mostly, there have been a few isolated incidents since I started this series, but most of it was right when prep ended and right when I quit my job. It was just like so many moving parts at once that I did a lot of overeating then, and then between that and the vacation and Thanksgiving, weight gain. It happens and it needed to happen and I got my period back. Body image wise, it hasn't been great because I know last year the coach that I had was really focused on me being in a good place to start another prep in the spring. And because of that, I went up to 2,100 calories, got my period back, and then immediately dropped down into a calorie deficit to kind of do some body recomposition so that I was within 15 to 20 pounds of my stage weight come January, February. Whereas this year, my coach is really looking out for my long-term health, and jumping into a calorie deficit just after getting my period back would be a bad idea because if I started working out more, cutting calories again, that would just add more stress and freak out my body possibly and cause me to lose it again. So while I'm not entirely comfortable at the level of body fat that I'm at now, one, I still have abs, so I can't complain. And two, it really is just temporary because there will always be another cut and there will always be prep again if I choose to. I'm hoping to kind of do a mini cut in the new year. Maybe that doesn't mean January, but maybe February, so that I can lose a little bit of weight so that I'm comfortable gaining more, because I think I'm kind of like at the max that I'm okay with. Certain leggings aren't fitting quite as well anymore and stuff is a little bit more snug, which means I have a nice booty again, which I am thankful for. It is a phase and you have to go through all phases if you want to grow in this sport. And so if I wanted to stay lean all year long, not stage lean mind you, but I wouldn't really progress and gain muscle rapidly. So I am looking to put on more muscle in my shoulders this year, in my lats, and in my glutes, of course. So weight gain is required. And it's the winter anyway, so everyone's wearing sweaters. So I'm still having one free meal a week, but I am also having one intuitive, like mindful eating day a week where I don't track or weigh anything all day. We started doing this after my vacation because my vacation really showed me that I can trust myself and I can trust my hunger signals. And so my mindful days have actually been going pretty well. I notice I don't really snack as much during the day when I actually do my mindful eating. Whereas when I track macros, I like macro in snacks and everything. So it's been going well. I thought about filming a mindful day for you guys, but then it wouldn't be very mindful if I was thinking about doing a YouTube or an Instagram post over the course of that day. Cardio is still at 10,000 steps a day, and I imagine it'll probably stay that way for most of my reverse / bulk / improvement season. So that's a roundup of a little summary of how my reverse has been going so far. And so I'm probably getting the question now, well, when does a reverse end? Well, when you stop trying to build calories up. I would say even when you're in a bulk and a calorie surplus, you're still kind of reversing, because eventually, if you are sticking to like your bulking calories, your surplus calories, your metabolism will speed up again and those calories will go back to your maintenance. So you would still be adding on calories even during a bulk if you are patient enough. I have no idea how long I'm gonna keep adding in calories, but I imagine it's gonna be for quite a while here, because I'm honestly thinking of taking 2021 off of competing altogether, just because I don't want to get the exact same feedback again next year when I step on stage again. My first year of competing, I got the feedback that I needed to grow my shoulders and that my glutes were fine. And then this year, I got the feedback again that I needed to grow my upper body, my shoulders a little bit more. That's so frustrating, because I did make serious growth in my upper body. When I go back on stage, I want to go back to win and become a pro. So I'm really focusing on growing those shoulders and growing my glutes a lot, and I want the difference to be night and day. So that might require taking an entire year off. Okay, it's lunchtime now, and I made a batch of Katie Crocus's rainbow chili last night for my whole family, and this is what's left over. Normally it makes a giant pot that you could eat off the entire week, but I did make it for my family. So I'm gonna have that. One of the things that I thought was gonna be great when I quit my job was that, oh, I'll be able to cook every single meal fresh. I won't have to meal prep anymore. Except once you get to a certain point in your reverse, you stop caring about food and the food focus goes way down. And thankfully I am at that point now. But then it gets to the point where I'm like, ugh, I don't wanna cook today. What should I eat? Oh, look at those cookies on the counter. Everything just works a lot better when you meal prep and you don't have to think about everything constantly. So I've been trying to get back into the meal prep habit, because if I have food prepped, I'm gonna eat it instead of just combing through my kitchen, grazing on snacks because I don't wanna cook. So I'm gonna go ahead and have this rainbow chili meal prep. I actually haven't planned out everything that I'm eating today. That's another thing that has changed. I think I talked about it in the last video, but I used to pre-plan everything that I ate when I was in prep, and it's a great strategy when you're dieting. But now I have a little bit more freedom in my day. Like, who knows? I am staying at home right now with my parents because it's their last week of work, and then Christmas is coming. So, you know, maybe they're gonna wanna get something for dinner, and maybe it'll be something really easy to macro in, like Chick-fil-A or Chipotle. I like live off of Chipotle right now. So I'm just gonna have this rainbow chili, and yeah. So yeah, meal prepping basically makes everything easier. It ensures I'm still getting a wide variety of fruits and vegetables throughout the day, because no one wants to fresh cook vegetables every single day. I am also still drinking a bunch of water. So this is actually water in here. I haven't gone to Sonic in maybe 3 or 4 days. What I really like to do is I'll get the Route 44 drink, and after I drink the Coke Zero, then I'll just fill it back up with water, because I find that when I have a straw near me, I will chug this thing, and it just makes getting my water in so much faster throughout the day. I don't really like hydro jugs or anything like that, because you do physically have to sip it, and again, I feel like I just drink water a lot faster with a straw. So this recipe is again Katie's rainbow chili. I will post the link to her Instagram recipe post and a link to her recipe book if you want to buy it. So today is actually a rest day, because Mia here had a tooth removal surgery yesterday, and she's doing just fine today, but since no one was home, my little sister asked me to stay home with her all day just to be sure that she's fine and all. So I'm probably gonna go for a little walk in a bit. But as far as like what the rest of my reverse is gonna look like, it's gonna, you know, be the exact same thing. Still slowly adding back in calories, increasing them. Hopefully I can do a mini cut in maybe 6 weeks or so. I actually asked my coach yesterday if we could do a mini cut sometime in January, if not January 1st, then like mid-January. And she like straight up asked me, she was like, Emily, if I were one of your clients, what would you tell me right now? She has a point. I only just got my period back. But in my mind, I was kind of thinking like, ugh, I've been gaining weight since like August. It feels like I've been in a bulk for a while. I'm like not super comfortable with like the body fat percentage where I'm at now. And again, I don't really have an excuse. It's just like compared to my stage weight, like I just feel fluffy and not quite myself. But this is the sport and this is what you kind of have to do. You do have to get a little uncomfortable during the year and put on some extra body fat. And yeah, a large portion of that extra body fat was due to me overeating a little bit at the beginning of my reverse, especially when situations were changing. I will say that I think a majority of my overeating and like binging stemmed from stress and anxiety, especially from the transition to prep to no prep and work to no work. And it all kind of tied into routines. So I'm actually still trying to figure out a good daily routine for me. In prep, y'all remember I was waking up and journaling, heading to work with gusto, doing my workouts, getting my cardio in. And now I'm like, I don't know. It's like everything's so open and free, but then it's like almost that it's too open and then I kind of don't know what to do. So I have been starting my mornings here, like going to a coffee shop, getting an hour or two of work done, and that kind of kickstarts my productivity during the day. So it's almost like I have to start my morning with a win, with productivity wins. So I usually go to a coffee shop and I work on my business. Maybe that's planning out a YouTube video, writing a post for the day, writing some content for my clients, etc. And that like little win to start my day makes me feel a lot more productive, and I'm more likely to go to the gym and really crush my workouts. Okay, so snack time is one of these little English muffins with the Ginger Doodle American Dream Nut Butter flavor. There we go. So there's little sprinkles in it, there's gingerbread pieces. It's just absolutely delicious. So being patient paid off because my little sister decided to stop by Chick-fil-A on her way home today. So I was able to macro in a grilled chicken sandwich and a tortilla soup, my favorite soup of theirs. There is a benefit to not pre-tracking everything all day long, and I'm excited that my calories are high enough that I can kind of be a little bit more spontaneous. Well, surprise, surprise, my camera's battery died. I did buy a backup battery, but of course I hadn't charged it yet. So this is a couple days later here. I'm not sure I like the quality of the new camera. Well, I love the quality of the new camera. I just don't like how it totally unfocused all the time when I was talking. So I'm actually filming this on my iPhone again. I considered returning the camera, but I think I'm gonna stick it out a little bit longer. It probably just has a learning curve there. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and click that subscribe button here so you don't miss any updates. And if you're interested in seeing any of my recipes, don't forget to check out my recipe blog, emyogifit.com. With my reverse kind of going so slow and steady as it is now, I will of course be giving more updates, but the next update might be whenever I decide to do a mini cut there. Exciting. So I hope you guys all have happy holidays, Merry Christmas, etc. and see you guys again next time.